The last Pokemon Presents was hot dog shit. Oh, I'm fucking clocked out! Yeah, cafe cuties, fucking whatever, who cares, bro? Bro, this is in the exact same order as the last one. Oh, I'm fucking bored beyond fucking recognition. Pokemon as a whole has left me kind of bored and a little apathetic for the last couple of years. Yes, we've got a brand new game on the way. Yes, we do have great stuff coming out of the TCG. It seems that Game Freak is also attempting to combat the problems with the mainline games. But we've had 3 hard misses in a row for like the last year and a half. At this point, it's beginning to feel like there isn't any interest in creating cool games with this franchise anymore. And I think the last 3 Pokemon Presents have highlighted this fear to great effect. What is it with this retarded fucking angle? Just have it face head on, man. Who are you talking to, mate? I've made a couple different statements on Pokemon, I guess. Generally, my goal with these is to lay out what I don't like and then lay out very easily met opportunities to improve the quality of the games. Unfortunately, this isn't really going to meet that same criteria. I'm going to be grilling the Pokemon Company and Game Freak pretty hard. Before we even get stuck into the content of the Presents itself, this shouldn't have happened. This was a total waste of time. We got some really cool announcements, like the Pokepark Kanto sneak peek, a look at the TCG Megas, and the best looking thing presented was a Sirfetch'd and Pichu Aardman animation, which, while cool, was certainly not worth setting out a date and putting a Presents together for. Especially when a good majority of the information is not substantial enough to even really analyse and discuss. A lot of ZA's segment was rehashing content already gone over in previous announcements, plus a couple little pieces that I felt were just expected features. Pokemon ZA will have character customization. Okay, well, I felt like that was a given. In Pokemon ZA, you can customize your Furfuru. Okay, well, I feel like that was pretty obvious. It was a Kalos game. Pokemon ZA will release on the 16th of October. We kind of knew that already. It was announced almost a month prior. In fact, Pokemon Unite's 4th anniversary content was shown at least 3 days before it was shown here. Even if it wasn't, none of this information warranted an entire Pokemon Presents to talk about this. When Nintendo or Pokemon Company announce a big Direct-like presentation, I think the implication is that big new game announcements and events are going to be unveiled, or at the very least, there's usually something worth tuning in for. Instead, because of instances like this, where information is rehashed and used to fill time for its longest presentation since 2023, it feels like instead of showing something off, it's trying to advertise these games to me. All of this new content could have been, and in some cases was, just thrown onto its respective Twitter account and then called it a day. Even the ZA news could have been uploaded in a blog post or used as some promotional tweet. Low Punny, she's back! Dragonite's design could have been teased at and then shown off after like a week, kind of like how Galarian, Ponyta, and Rapidash were. But don't get too caught up in that, okay? We got bigger tumours to contract. We're taking a look, buddy. We're squarely looking it directly in the eye. Yay! I love fucking mobile fucking cancer, man. The obsession with mobile games is the biggest cancer on this franchise. I don't hate mobile gaming, to be clear. Uma Musume...
All that for second place. Shut up.
Magic Arena. Yes! Eraser! And Warhammer Tacticus are beloved games for me on PC and on iPhone. But for Pokemon, a genuinely fun opportunity to create engaging games available anywhere has been turned into the crux of its games lineup, with results that resemble an amateur game designer's first Flash game. For multiple reasons, Pokemon's commitment to making a significant chunk of their lineup mobile first actually tends to hurt those games more than it helps them. Because for one, those games don't ever get treated like proper live service games, and then 2, these games are neutered down to its most simple form, even at the cost of quality. I was so excited for Pokemon Unite when it was first announced, but the prioritization of it being a mobile game first has made me lose all interest in it. The matchmaking is absolutely terrible. The UI is garbage and it jitters and stutters so often on Switch that the experience becomes uninteresting. Secondly, the fact that its gameplay itself is so basic and shallow to fit into the mobile mold is, unfortunately, what makes Unite one of the only games I could actually say I'd rather play over League of Legends. Oh, other way around. But you get it. But that's doing a disservice to Riot's actually well done and high quality mobile MOBA, Wild Rift. I think that this same criticism can be applied to a majority of the mobile games that the Pokemon Company shits out, unfortunately, including the unreleased Pokemon Champions. I've asked many times for Pokemon to create its own version of Showdown. In fact, I claimed it was necessary to fix a big problem in the competitive community, that was being able to tell if a Pokemon was genned or not. I should really have laid out what I envisioned when I said that though, because I did not want it to be a mobile game. If anything, I thought it would have looked like Battle Revolution or the Stadium games, with some sort of campaign or career mode, and all the nice little features both those games had. I thought that would have been really cool, but unfortunately it seems that Game Freak doesn't really see it happening if it ain't on mobile, and then because of that, It appears to borrow animations and models from previous Pokemon games, making it look bland and low quality before we've even really seen a full release. So why is there currency on everything? Which is really disappointing, and it leaves me worried for how it might end up 5 years down the line. Because this game is supposed to be the replacement for Pokemon Showdown, using your own Pokemon to battle online without the fuss of having to spend tens of hours leveling up a team, for each team. But I guess we'll have to play it when it comes out to make a judgment. I'm honestly tempted to say that Pokemon Presents just shouldn't have any announcement for mobile games, because they always cause shit, no matter where they're inserted, to be honest, and they never really add value to the presentation unless the person watching plays those games. Maybe that's a little extreme, though. I think all of this would be rendered totally null and void, as long as it was supplemented with something real, with real games. I think even if they had teased, like, an upcoming Hey You Pikachu game, Elder Scrolls 6 style, with no fucking release date, you probably would never have seen this video. In the last 5 years, not including main titles and mobile games, we've gotten exactly 3, count them, 3 spin-off games. Mystery Dungeon DX, which was a remake, Pokemon New Snap, which was a new fully fledged game, and Detective Pikachu 2, which was Detective Pikachu 2. Just as a point of comparison, in the last 5 years before 2020, we'd received double the amount of spin-offs at 6. Pokemon Shuffle, Rumble World, Pokemon Tournament, Super Mystery Dungeon, Picross, and Detective Pikachu 1 on the 3DS. I used to think that the misery posting about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon was pretty overblown, because there's no way they would just stop making games for such a fan-favourite spin-off. After Rescue Team DX, I thought it was almost guaranteed we get a remake of Explorers of Sky, or even just a new game. Now, I'm getting a little fucking worried, because not only are we not getting a new Mystery Dungeon game, we're not getting anything at all. What is going on at Game Freak? Is there any motivation to make something? Does Nintendo give a fuck? That's probably a stupid question. I'm not fussed with getting limited announcements and less content, which sounds like bullshit because I just bitched for the last 5 minutes about exactly that. My problem mostly lies in not getting anything at all. I don't mind waiting for quality games. I felt it was pretty obvious that the reason Sword, Shield, Scarlet and Violet had launched so poorly was because they were rushed out the door within the span of like 2 years, when previous Pokemon games at least had 3 years apiece. Now we're on the polar opposite of that scale, where we aren't getting anything at all. I at least want to know that I'm waiting for something, if anything at all. Something other than a mainline Pokemon game that isn't a fucking mobile game would be nice. Game Freak does a really good job at pretending like it's got nothing going on behind closed doors, even if it's not true. And holy fuck, I hope it's not true. So the question emerges, what do we want? What do we want from Pokemon? Personally, I would really like to see more Mystery Dungeon stuff, remake or not. Mystery Dungeon Remake was great, and it seems like it did well, so I'm not sure why they haven't kept pushing with more from that series. Again, Explorers of Sky is right there. Or even just port fucking Super Mystery Dungeon, or just port any of those games, that would be nice. Or remake them, whatever, it doesn't matter. Ports for old Pokemon games. I feel like we're far overdue for updated ways to play old games on newer hardware. Pokemon games for the Game Boy, DS, 3DS aren't playable on modern systems, and there's a perfectly good service to put all 3 of those console games onto. So I'm not sure why that hasn't been done already. Remakes. Really hope the backlash from Gen 4 remakes hasn't killed their interest in doing more of these games, because I know the interests from the community died with those games, but I think with great ideas and solid vision, Black and White remakes could be really good. If they put real and honest effort into understanding the games in the first place, obviously. Black and White 1 and 2 should be bundled into one remake. I think that would be cool. I'll finish this little bitch sesh by saying that half, if not the majority of Pokemon's lineup of games are fucking mobile. What I'm looking for when I watch these presentations is something worth getting excited about. I'm looking for a new, interesting spin-off game that takes the world of Pokemon and expands it with a new twist. I'm looking for new ways to play old games, whether it be ports of the old DS games, or Game Boy titles, or even remakes of those same games. I'm not interested in low-effort games that provide no tangible value to me other than being a time waster, because I can play time wasters literally anywhere else. Nowadays, it feels like this, and maybe a couple big releases for the Switch, are all Nintendo and Game Freak are really interested in putting out. And I think I'm really starting to get sick of sitting through these presentations just to feel absolutely nothing at the end.